So apparently everyone is an expert now. You know, why are people presenting doctorate level arguments out here with preschool level research? My honest reason for this is that society doesn't reward competence. It only rewards confidence. And confidence is something you need to practice on a daily basis. It's not something that you're naturally born with at all. You know, as long as you're confident, you can literally speak or do the most stupid thing. And society out here can reward you for that. Either one or the other. Society will reward you for it. You know, we have access to more information than any other generation in history. And somehow we have confused access with expertise. You know, someone reads the post, they watch the 3 hour video, and now suddenly they are prepared to explain things such as quantum physics, laws of human nature, philosophy, economics, 48 laws of power, medicine, psychology, you name it. And they explain it to some level with absolute certainty, you know. And people applaud them for this, with likes, comments, more followers, and even support them too, you know. But now, when the evidence gets thin, the logic fallacies shows up. These people at some point, when they can't defend their arguments, they fact you instead. You know, it's, it's like a part of the whole. They're like, this happened here, therefore the entire system works the same way. You know, they go like, this group tends to do this, so you must do it too. Like how the David Goggins clips out here. The same as applying to someone going through a heartbreak, and now they come and explaining it to you, and now they are poisoning you with their own influence or whatever experience they had out here. Don't get me wrong, I think personality is just experience, and we filter experiences based on our emotions. But anyway, that's something for another day. You know, but we all know these aren't really arguments at all. They are shortcuts that feel like arguments. You know, and maybe that's the point of the problem. Incredibly sophisticated. We are incredibly sophisticated at expressing opinions without becoming equally sophisticated at forming them. You know, and here is where the confidence comes in. The confidence is postgraduate. The methodology is finger paint. I don't mean to sound like whatever they are doing is wrong. Not at all, Kapsa. The thing is, why not go deep into whatever it is people want to educate us on in the internet, like turn it into a career or something? Like you go in a flow state or something in that thing, then come and educate us about that thing. But get this though, nobody really even cares about the evidence that stands out that supports this person being educated or being an expert to this scale, like having competence. Like I said previously, competence is not something that people even look at. You know, nobody really cares about that. They only care about the topic being discussed and whatever information they're being given at that point. Because don't get me wrong, the media we have nowadays are meant to keep us hooked. They're not meant us to fulfill us in any kind of way, you know. And they show support. These people who care, they don't care about whatever is being talked about or whatever evidence they have to provide to show us that they are educated at this thing. Support these people with what double taps and comments, and we mistaken this for thinking that actually this is legit. But these are not people with substance. Man. People of substance, they're not even people on the internet. Man. Come on, we all know this. We really need to look at this seriously with some detachment from it, with even some humor to it. Because this means that people don't have independent thoughts out here or an original thought. Don't get me wrong. I think independent thoughts are hard to come by nowadays, because everybody, when you talk to somebody nowadays, all they can talk about is what have been scrolling on the internet the past week or what has been trending on the internet. That's crazy. So much of the world is inoculated in shorter short-term rewards, in likes of cheap dopamine hits, you know. Like when you see the likes and comments, you think that thing is actually true and this person is actually educated and is an expert to this. But most time or not, it's not what you think, you know. And this has a huge play in it, since since in the long run, people will lack cognitive skills or even a sense of coherent self, you know, or maybe this line was too far. But look at it. In the long term, people wouldn't have thoughts of their own. They'll be taking other people's opinions out here. You cannot even sit with a thought more than 30 seconds, or you cannot even come up with a thought. You need to depend on something else to give you whatever it is you want. Anyways, thank you guys for watching.